स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री ज्योतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित् सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Today I shall talk about my Hollywood days. This program is recorded by John Manje, Dharmadas at Laguna Beach. Before I start to speak about my Hollywood days, I am requested to speak a little bit about my life, beginning of my life and background, how I came in contact with Sri Ramakrishna. I was born on 16th March 1936 at Ajogada village, district Khulna. At that time, there was no partition, it was British India, and our home was 110 miles from Calcutta, east. We are 5 brothers and 5 sisters. My father had a lot of property, and in 1947 India was divided and we migrated to India in 1950. I remember it is 21st of April. Our home, they are very religious people. My uncle, one of my uncles was a judge. He built a Krishna temple, and I shall never forget my village life, which is so beautiful. Our village school was 1 mile away from our home. I finished 7th grade there. When I got to 8th grade, we had to migrate because at that time there was a heavy riot in East Pakistan at that time. So my father, mother, myself, younger brother and the servant, we migrated. We came to Barakpur. My sister had an apartment. We all moved there, very difficult. Then I joined my school in Barakpur. 8, 9, 10, 3 years I finished school. Then I went to college. But my parents again returned to our country home because we had a lot of property. They used to send money so that we can go to school in Calcutta. So, but my elder brother was married in 1944. He and his wife brought Sri Ramakrishna to our home. And he used to read Gospel of Ramakrishna in our living room. Some villagers would come and listen. That is my first exposure about Sri Ramakrishna. I knew Sri Ramakrishna's parables and the stories from the age of 8. Then my sister-in-law, they got initiation from Holy Mother through dream. My sister-in-law died in 1950 while giving birth to a baby. My brother never married again. He also moved to Calcutta. So I remember very well that most probably in May or June, my elder brother took me to Dakshineshwar. We arrived at 2 o'clock. sat under the Panchavati. Still there is some jungle at that time. The temple opened at 4 o'clock. My brother took me different temples, took to Sri Ramakrishna's room. That was my first visit to Dakshineshwar. I wrote about it. Then another day he took me to Udbodhan, mother's house, and introduced me with some monks. And I was going to school, but every Sunday after lunch I used to go to Udbodhan, and I used to serve the monks and did the errands. I became very close to them. I was in 8th grade, half pant, half shirt. Then, I do not know whether the elder brother, but someone took me to Belur Math also. I crossed the Vivekananda bridge. I still remember 1 anna toll you will have to pay. Then bus number 55, Belur Math. I was so moved seeing Belur Math. And I went to Swamiji's temple upstairs facing the Ganges. There is extension of the veranda. I used to think that if I sit here, I shall get Samadhi. I still remember that place. Beautiful at that time. Panoramic view. So I continued visiting the monks. Then I finished my college. My father wanted to be either a doctor or a lawyer. It did not work out. I asked one of the Swamis, could I stay in the monastery? He said, yes, we shall talk to Goswami Gambhirananda. He was the president of Advaita Ashrama. So what happened? He said, yes, we need a proofreader. So I still remember 1st December 1958, I came to Advaita Ashrama and became a proofreader. That house is very little space, huge publication department. But at that time I got a job also. So morning and evening I was reading proof. That time I got a job because I had to support my younger brother who was going to school. So my brother was taken by Ramakrishna Mission, Narendapur. Then I joined. 28th February 1960, Ramakrishna's birthday. I still remember. So almost 60 years is February 2020 will be 60 years. So I was working there. Then I got my Brahmacharya Bhav in 1966. My Sannyas training center 64-65. Then in 1969 I got my final vows. And my name was Swami Chetanananda. I was sent to Mayavati in 1970. And there I worked Ramakrishna biography and pictures. When I came down from Mayavati in December, I was told that you will have to go to Hollywood. It was Swami Nirvananandaji, who was a friend of Swami Prabhavananda, suggested my name. So I came to Swami Nirvananandaji told me, don't say no. Uncle Maharaj, I never lectured in English, this and that. Oh, Prabhavananda will teach you. Anyhow, I did not say no. So it was 27th May, I left Belur Math, came with Swami Gambhirananda, Nirvananda to Bombay Ashrama. 31st May, the gateway of India, where Swamiji left for America on 31st May 1893, they wanted to install a huge bronze statue of Swami Vivekananda on that spot. So nearly 152 monks are there. So I attended that function. It was 31st May. Next morning was my flight, 1st June. I left Bombay. Heavy rain. Swami Atmasthanandaji, Premarupanandaji, and 3 monks took me to the airport. I was a little bit scared. I never traveled outside India. I still remember Air India, flight number 503, 707 jet. At that time 747 has not come out. And from Bombay to Moscow, 1 hour stop. Then from Moscow to Paris only. There I stayed 3 days. Swami Vidyatmanandaji took me Paris and showed me all important places. Then I came to London. At that time London was on the height, on the Holland Park, 54 Holland Park, not the present place. There I stayed 3 days, saw around. I went to see Canterbury Church. Swami Yogeshananda took me there. Then I flew to New York, that also Air India. And 3 days in New York. Swami Pavitra, I was the guest of Swami Pavitranandaji. Then on the 9th, I arrived in New York, 8th June 1971. 8th June 1971. I had green card from India. Then I remember Jack was asking me, Swami, what is your first impression about America? Uncle, I was a free soul, now I see I am bound. What do you mean? Uncle, the moment I sat in your car, you put the seat belt around my waist and around my shoulder. I have never seen seat belt in my life. They laughed. Then John Schlenk showed me all New York City, that New Empire State Building. At that time Wall Street Center was not built. Then museum, everything I saw in New York, all important things. Then Swami Nikhilanandaji invited me. I went and had lunch with him. Maharaj was very kind to me. I said, Maharaj, will you not present a copy of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna to me? Hey, bring a Gospel. Then, Uncle Maharaj, will you not give your autograph? The moment you came to America, you have become an American. So, that was I had a very nice time in New York. Then it was on 11th June 1971. I came by TWA. It was 747 Jumbo Jet. Yes, at that time Jumbo Jet was there, but Indian Airlines did not have Jumbo Jet. So TWA, I came to Los Angeles. Swami Ashoktanandaji and Swami Shraddhanandaji received me along with nearly 60-70 American devotees and monks. It was a huge crowd. So I was coming out through the gate. An American gentleman pushed our devotees and grabbed my hand and said, I don't know who you are, but you must be a very important person, otherwise why so many people have come to receive you. Then Swami Shraddhanandaji gave a reception address. Moni, do you know where you are? Moni means, oh jewel. We are coming from the same district. So, hello jewel, do you know where you are now? You are in holy wood, pure forest, full of gopis. That is my reception address. Maharaj was very funny and very fond of me because I knew him from 1952. Anyhow, I came to Hollywood. Swami Prabhavananda was very pleased. I am only one thing I miss, and that I did not write my day-to-day diary of Hollywood days. But when Prabhavananda and Pavitrananda would say something, I used to write in my diary. I have several kinds of diaries. So some important things or the new things which I do not know, I used to write. Then truly speaking, I felt when I came to Hollywood, it's just something festivities going on. So many monks, nearly 12, 13 monks, 13, 14 nuns. Chubuk also 10 or 12 monks. Santa Barbara, nearly 13 or 14 nuns. And so many devotees in the Hollywood campus, that on Vedanta Terrace. There's a festivities going on. And Prabhavananda created such a wonderful atmosphere in Hollywood, unbelievable. I remember Swami Prabhavananda was asking one day, Chetananda, you are home, are you homesick? I told him, no Maharaj, I have no home. I left home at the age of 14, I have no attachment for home. At that time, you have seen that Hollywood, the congregation, all are Americans. Only one Indian, Taposh Ghosh, a young man. Maharaj was very fond of his Shama Sangit. He was the only person, Indian, at that time in Hollywood Temple. No Indians, all Americans. And only 2 black couples are there. And in the choir, there are 2 black boys. And all Americans. I remember nearly 200, 250 people would come in the lectures. First, I shall tell you my Hollywood routine. At that time, 7 to 8 meditation, then 8-10 breakfast, then 12 to 1 meditation, 1:20 lunch, then 7-10 supper, and 6 to 7 meditation in the evening, Vesper, and 7-10 supper. It was very hard for me to adjust in the very beginning. I found 7 to 8-10, 13 hours gap. In India, we generally eat at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and here, and breakfast also early. So it was very hard in the very beginning. Then I myself suggested that when Prabhavananda was alive, that Maharaj, let us make the morning meditation a little earlier, 6:30 to 7:30. Ananda Prana objected, Uncle, no, that half an hour for your study. And we had classes, I think, on Wednesday gospel class. Swami Prabhavananda used to give question, Christopher Isharu would read, and half an hour, and Swami Prabhavananda would give answers questions from the devotees. Whole Hollywood temple was packed at that time. Gospel class. And when later on, when Swami was not well, either Swami Ashoktanandaji or myself, we used to answer questions. And when Isharu could not read, Madhuri, Arlene Crane, she used to read, or Shobha used to read. Anyhow, the gospel class. Thursday, there is a scripture class, 8 to 9. Swami told me that the classes you go with ochre cloth, but when you go out, he made me a dress code. Go out, go with Western dress. Otherwise, people will think it's Hare Krishna and all those things. Even at that time, Hare Krishna movement was very active. Hollywood Temple. 16 items worship, Kali Puja, really once a month Ramnam, vigil, round the clock, 12 to 12. Even that midnight people used to come to the shrine, which is amazing. Later on I started Santa Barbara vigil, 6 to 6, morning 6 to evening 6. I introduced some nice things about Hollywood. there, you see, you know that Hollywood Shrine, the pictures are very small. From the back, you do not know whose birthday it is. Then I asked Vedanta Chaitanya, make 60 by 40, Thakur, Ma, Swamiji, Maharaj, and left side decorated. Today, this person's birthday. You know, it is very, very important to see these things. Anyhow, I remember a story of Swami Prabhavananda. At that time in 60s, many hippies would come. So Swami said that when you come to the temple, come with little proper clothes. Then they say, pointing to Sri Ramakrishna sitting possibly, he doesn't have much clothes either. Then he said, well, when you be Sri Ramakrishna, you don't need any clothes, but now you come in proper clothes. Big pictures, and then I remember Shivaratri night, people were sleeping, I started, I'm going to repeat this mantra, hara hara bam bam, hara hara bam bam. That is a sleep breaking mantras. I taught them, and then I remember after Shivaratri, remember that all people would come every hour after the puja in the greenhouse living room, and devotees would ask questions. So what happened, Matilda, one elderly lady, she is from Latvia, Eastern Europe. She was asking me, Swami, how old is Shiva? I go, Matilda is just a couple of years older than you. And people laughed. One day I told Swami Prabhavananda, Maharaj was not well at that time after heart attack. I said, Maharaj, don't you think these nuns and monks need some training, some classes? Maharaj said, I am too old, I cannot do it. You start. So I started to give classes to the nuns, both in Hollywood and Santa Barbara. In Hollywood, I used to give a class to the nuns once a week and taught them chanting first, and then a Vedanta Shara, some classes I used to give to them. Gave classes. My routine, Monday to Sunday, I was in Hollywood. I had to commute. Monday to Sunday. Sunday, I have to give a class to the monks in Hollywood. Then our Jnana or someone, a teacher, they used to drive me to Trabuco. Trabuco was my heaven. I shall talk. Then Trabuco I stayed from Sunday night till Thursday afternoon. Then Thursday afternoon, one monk would drive from Trabuco to Hollywood. Thursday night, Hollywood. Friday morning after breakfast, Dhiramata would drove Ashoktananda and myself every week from Hollywood to Santa Barbara. And Santa Barbara routine I shall tell you later. Then Monday again I used to come to, morning I used to come to Hollywood. That was my routine. Then do you know how did I feel? I thought that 1/4 or 1/3 of my lifetime will be Freeway 101 and 5. What a misuse of time. I never drove. I thought I shall drive. Somebody gave me a car and somebody offered money so that I can learn driving. I said, then 4 or 5 ladies say, Swami, if you learn driving, we'll be unemployed, you know. We like to drive you. But not everybody could drive me. Prabhavananda will select who will drive me. Dhiramata, Bhagavati, Mirabai, then one lady, Violet Eaton. She used to drive from Santa Barbara. 4 or 5 ladies could drive us, not everybody. Then that was my routine. Manja Praja Dhira Mataja. My adjustment in Hollywood. I told you about my timing. That was the main thing. But you know, when I passed through my window, when I used to see Hollywood freeway, four lanes, 8 lanes car are going continually, even at midnight, I had a doubt. American people, do they not go to bed? Do they not sleep? I could see through my window. Later on, they built a high wall so that we may not get noise from the freeway. Then, about food. In Hollywood food, I thought that, they gave me some boiled zucchini and carrot, mashed potato, and baked chicken. I thought I shall die here. That kind of, no rice, no dal, 35 years they are accustomed to one kind of food. Then the boys, brothers, explained to me, Swami, this is protein, this is carbohydrate, this is vegetables. They used to explain. Then cold milk. My goodness, how can I have cold milk? Then they explained, Swami, it is all right. Then problem is I was hungry sometimes at night. Then Prabhavananda Swami told the monks, keep some food in his room. So in my closet, all kinds of cookies and crackers and junk food, everything was there in my closet. Finally, I discovered one thing: raisin bran, milk and sugar. As long as those things are in America, I shall not die. I had a stomach problem, acid. Swami Prabhavananda sent me to his doctor, and the doctor checked barium meal, X-ray, all those things. Well, no, nothing wrong. Perhaps you are a nervous stomach. I said, I am not a nervous person. Then I shall not come to you anymore. Then Swami sent me to his dentist. He did all fillings of my teeth. Keep your teeth very good shape because you will have to speak. I am very, very grateful to Swami Prabhavananda that he wanted me to be well trained. He said voice is very, very important. Then he told me American people will come first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. If they do not understand, they will not come back again. Please speak in such a way so that American people can understand. Then Maharaj asked Arlene Crane, she was an actress. She also used to teach foreign students how to speak. And originally she is from Scotland. She used to listen to my lectures and check the notes, that what are the wrong things I spoke wrong. And then she used to come and give me lessons. And all of her talks I recorded. Those records I have. I tell you frankly, I am very, very grateful to that woman. She used to teach me how to pronounce words. I still remember. I used to say bath, path, math. But Swami, your audience is American, you will have to speak in that way. But then he says, some British, we are born and brought up in British India, so our accent is British. So, and I should not say our accent is British, Indian accent, but British English. But then he said, some British words are not also good. Garage, barrage, barrage, sounds good. So let us be mid-Atlantic. That is the way my lesson started. She would say, thank you. Soft TA, Swami, thank you. I cannot say, thank you. Do you want me like Mother Kali? Thank you. He said, no, not so far. Sometimes she used to take me to theater in Sunburn Range, Our Byron Webster was an actor. And then she took me to My Fair Lady. Many theaters I saw in Sunburn Range, and other places. In Los Angeles also. I saw so many ballet, American ballet, Ukrainian ballet. I saw so many things in Hollywood. So anyhow, my education continued 2 years. She corrected and corrected and corrected. We say girl, gardener, girl, bath, path. Anyhow, birth. The way he pronounced in American, that is the way I learned. You know, one thing I noticed nowadays, the Swamis are coming, they are not getting that kind of training. It is hard for Americans sometimes to understand our accent. Anyhow, I am very grateful to Swami. Sometimes I used to ask Arlene, Arlene, could you recite Shakespeare for me? She would walk and recite Shakespeare. I have never heard such human voice so perfect. Beautiful voice. I have all of her tapes. I remember one day she said, Swami, you are very emotional. When you get excited, you speak so fast. I shall tie your ankle with a string and I shall sit in the audience. If you go fast, I shall pull your leg. She was a wonderful, wonderful person. She died from cancer in 1884. I went to see her.
1984.
Sorry, 1984, correct. About Swami Prabhavananda, I met Swami Prabhavananda in 1959 when he visited India with 5 nuns, and I served them refreshment in Advaita Ashrama, I remember, in Fort Wellington Lane. Then I met the Swami again in Concord. He was visiting. Then I met Swami also in 1963 during Swamiji's centenary. Christopher Isharut came. And truly speaking, I lived with him for 5 years. I had perfect understanding, not a single day I had any misunderstanding or any friction with the Swami. Swami loved me just like his own son, I tell you frankly. Sometimes we used to walk together when I first came, but later on I discontinued because his timing and my timing did not go well. Morning I went, in afternoon she used to walk at 3:30, at that time I used to sleep. Then I told Maharaj, I cannot walk at that time. But it is all right, you take a rest. I remember when he would go for walk, Entourage, or Abhaya, Bhagavati, and Lotika, Anandamoyi, big, you remember that big regiment in Hollywood. Maharaj, Krishnananda, all would drive, all would walk. Then one day Bhagavati was telling Swami, Swami, we love Swami Chetanananda. Then Maharaj said, love him, but don't fall in love with him. I had all funny exposures. In my Bengali book, I wrote about Swami Prabhavananda. In Trubacom, in 1971, I remember 4th of July, we went there. By the by, I said, Maharaj, your book, Sarmananda Mount, according to Vedanta, should be translated into Bengali. You do it. So I did it. Swami Shraddhanandaji was the editor. I also edited Swami's Narada's Way of Divine Life. His brother translated into Bengali. I edited it and wrote the foreword of that book also. Because Maharaj knew that we used to work for them as a proofreader. About dress, Swami always asked me to have good dress. Go to a conservative shop, buy nice clothing. If you want to mix with the top-ranking people of the country, you need good dress. He always encouraged me to have good dress. Then also he told, you may write, but it should be edited by the Westerners. This is their language. They must understand in their way. So I always obeyed what he said. He also cautioned me, even a single woman invited you, don't go alone. And never borrow money for building any things in the ashrama or all these things. No mortgage. Then a few things he says that I never appeal for money from the pulpit. Because many Christian churches, people are disgusted with appeal for money, money, money. Perhaps you remember that time Bhakti Prana's choir, my goodness, beautiful choir. Then Sudhir's men's choir, Bhakti Prana's opening in Hollywood Temple, Bhakti Prana's choir would sing, and closing men's choir, Sudhir was the conductor. And so Robindra and Indira and many other people were, he is now in Portland. All these singers, and many of them are hippies, but they are great singers, talented people. They are composers. They used to compose songs. I still remember a funny song. Moses made me a Muslim, and Muhammad made me a Jew. Ramakrishna made me a Christian, and Jesus made me a Hindu. What can I do? All the funny hippie songs. In Santa Barbara also, Barodaprana's choir was fantastic. Barodaprana was a great musician, great musician. Then my Santa Barbara. I forgot to tell one thing in Hollywood. As soon as I came, Maharaj introduced me to the audience. I was not prepared. I was shaky. Then my first lecture was Ramakrishna and Incarnation of God. I did very well. Then Maharaj, after the lecture, I came to his room. He said, "Did your knee shake?" I said, "No, Maharaj, my stomach shook." Then he says, "A little stage fright is good. You will draw the attention of the people." Then he told about his story. Well, when I first came in San Francisco, do you know what happened? I was so frightened. I came to the class, I could not talk. So I just left the hall and went to my room and closed the door and began to cry. Then Swami Prakashananda came, Swamiji's disciple, came, "Hey, Abani, what happened?" "Maharaj, I could not speak, I was so frightened." "Are, you could ask questions and answers instead of giving a talk. That way you could easily manage it." He told me about his experience. Santa Barbara also, I was going Friday lunch, Friday evening there will be a class in Santa Barbara Temple, scripture class. Then Saturday morning I used to give a class to the monks. Saturday afternoon class, gospel class. Sunday morning lecture. Sunday evening class in the convent. I used to give first chanting and then a class. And all nuns used to bring their tape recorder. And they are really wonderful. The best students I found in Santa Barbara. They would record and they would practice in their rooms. And then after 2 weeks when I would go, then Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Purana Sukta, Purusha Sukta, all they will speak, they will chant better than me. The one day Prabhupada was teasing me. Chetanananda, "Swami, you know, I hear your voice in every girl's room. Uncle, don't tell it to everybody. People will misunderstand me." They are practicing from their tape recorder. They're fantastic, I tell you frankly. Then when Swami would speak in Santa Barbara Temple, I used to go with Western dress and with tie, pant, coat. And I had a chair at the back row. And next to me was Saraju, that machine. She's a large woman. Saraju and Jack, they are Swami Prabhavananda's first-time disciple in 1930s, early 30s. He was an actor, he was a dancer, and Saraju was an actress. So Saraju will sit. She has a heavy voice, very tremendous personality, you can feel. And Jack used to sit outside the temple on the steps. And for him there is a speaker. And he will smoke. He's a chain smoker. So after the lecture I came out from the temple. So Jack was telling me, Swami, I see you are civilized today. Seeing my Western dress. Actually, yes, I am civilized. And I noticed you behaved with my wife well. Actually, yes. I behaved with your wife very well. We are not accustomed to talk this kind of thing in India, but I learned staying with Swami Prabhavananda. And later on, when when generally the rule was previously that Swami will speak in the convent after Sanjay lecture, and the nuns would just invite new people to introduce the Swami. That is the way they used to increase their members. So Prabhupada was a tremendous, what is called PR person. Oof, he can make people friends in no time and invite them, and she is like a mother figure, you know. Amazing personality. All nuns are wonderful. So they used to invite all people. So Saroj used to say, Swami, you need a chaperone. Uncle, yes, just give me protection from the ladies. In Hollywood also, our Ramala Kenny, she was my chaperone. Uncle, Kamala, sit next to me. Let this young woman sit away from me. And they used to laugh. Jack and Saraju. Then Prasanna, you remember, her father was nephew of Mr. Leggett, Theodore Whitmarsh. He made will for Swamiji. They are connected with the Leggett family. And Mr. Leggett's daughter I met, Frances Leggett, in 1976 in Ridgely. Anyhow, Prasanna was very good. Then our Taposhi Narayan, they are also wonderful. They helped me a lot. Taposhi and Narayan, they gave me medicine, any kinds of things. Narayan used to say, Swami, this is a stressful country, you must do exercise. Then I used to tell that how I heard a Czechoslovakian ambassador in India, they giving a talk in Culture Institute. How they pronounce, we are extremely happy to come to your country. Day by day we must have better understanding. Their pronunciation is different, you know. Then Shortbani, then Bhakti, Virginia Gilmore. She was the wife of Will Brunner. She was very fond of me. She has home in Santa Barbara near the convent. So all these people I met, and of course Bob and Shraddha Lewis, they are devotees from 1930s. Very wonderful people. Then our Ombika, she was an actress in Germany, and she is also fantastic. We had wonderful devotees, I tell you frankly, all Prabhavananda's disciples. Writers, artists. Maharaj really attracted a lot of top-ranking people. In Santa Barbara, my caretaker was Ralph. Ralph was a hippie. I used to call him Jimon. He could work like anything because he used to work hard. What happened, the Santa Barbara nuns gave me a sweater, Christmas gift. So I returned the sweater. Uncle, I have already two, why should I have another? The nuns were very upset. Then Ralph gave me a lecture. Swami, you will be in Hollywood, Tubuco, Santa Barbara. All three places you need clothes. All three places you need toothpaste, brush, shaving, everything. You cannot pack everything from here, then go all places. So Ralph was a very practical person. He gave me lessons. So again I went to the convent. I asked Prabhavananda and told her, you know, Prabhavananda, I was suffering from renunciation. So I returned the sweater because Swami Prabhavananda gave me one sweater and Swami Prabhavananda gave me one sweater. So I have two. In India I had no sweater at all. So anyhow, please give me the sweater. So, oh yes, Swami, we understand. Anyhow, you know American custom, many things we do not know. My caretaker Ralph. My days with Swami Prabhavananda was wonderful. One day Maharaj was telling me, Chetanananda, I am a little depressed. I said, Maharaj, why are you so depressed? I used to go to the shrine three times a day, now I cannot go. Then I said, Maharaj, you met Holy Mother, Maharaj initiated you, knew so many Jari disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. You think of them, they are in your memory. That is there. Yes, I think of them. But that is more than meditation, because that is called Sahaja Yoga. But a constant recollectedness of God, that is going on inside you. Then he said, Dakho, even the monk needs the company of a monk. Just now I feel really, I feel good now. Then Maharaj used to tell me that he is a struggle. He is a struggle in Hollywood. In early 1930s, deep depression in America. Maharaj said, we had no food. Night time, popcorn and milk we ate. And Omiya, later on he became Lady of Sandwich. And another black woman, her name was Ruba. Anyhow, these two persons used to bring some food for us. She used to, Omiya and Ruby. Well, they earned some money by giving private tuition and bring money. That is the way we used to. Yogaprana told me at that time, old temple, new temple, Holy temple was not there. It came in 1937-38. Lecture was in the greenhouse living room, and there's a small below there's a shrine. Maharaj used to lecture, and he says when the lecture people are not coming, he used to announce next Sunday there will be lecture on reincarnation, then people will come. And Maharaj used to invite everybody. But Yogaprana told me, Swami, we did not have much food. With that soup, we used to pour more water and more. That is the way, cracker and soup. That is the way we manage the lunch. Oof. Maharaj told me many stories. Then another story he told me about Sister Lolita. When Sister Lolita would come to the shrine, she used to bow down and put her head on the floor 10, 12, 15 minutes. Then somebody asked me that we bow down and we get up, sister, why do you keep your head down for such a long time? Well, you people are lucky. Until I see the light, I cannot lift my head. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Maharaj took her to India in 1935, and Maharaj told me the Hollywood shrine you see, it was touched by the two disciples of Ramakrishna, Akhandananda and Bigyanananda. That shrine, that altar in Hollywood temple. In 1938, that temple was built in $12,500. That whole Hollywood temple. There are many relics are there. I remember, I am very happy that I could do it. Before Maharaj passed away, I asked Maharaj, will you come one day to the shrine and identify the relics? He said, I am busy. But the day you feel good, that day you come. So Maharaj came one day, sat on a chair. I opened the relics place. Ananda Prana, Bhakti Prana, Gauri Prana, Krishnananda, all we are there. I put a sticker on each relics box and Ananda Prana wrote down. Number. All except one box was not identified. Maharaj said, I do not know what is there. Swami Brahmarupananda gave me. So all are recorded. Then I asked Swami Brahmarupananda, Brahmamayananda, not Brahmarupananda, Brahmamayananda. He left the order. He was in New York. Brahmamayananda said that was he told me what is in the relics, though all are recorded. Then I went to Chubuko, relics are recorded. I gave something to Chubuko also. Then I went to Santa Barbara, all relics are recorded. Without identification, relics are meaningless. That I saw in New York Center. They do not know what the things are. In St. Louis, Swami Prabhavananda wrote relics in the golden boxes, SR, HM, SB, SB, SS, SP. All 6 people's relics, all are identified and there. It is extremely important. I went to South America and Argentina, they have lot of relics. I wrote a history and wrote there. I kept all those things there. It is extremely important. Anyhow, that is a good thing I did for Hollywood. Maharaj told me about how he got the property of Santa Barbara. Kellogg's gave that property, and how he got the property of Chubuco. Our Gerald Hodge gave that property. I have many wonderful memories about Swami Prabhavananda. He passed away on July 4th, 1976. At that time I was alone Indian Swami. So 6 months I was the acting head of Hollywood from July till December. Then Swami Shwahananda ji came, and then he took over. One day, that I shall never remember. Swami Prabhavananda told me, Swami Chetanananda, it is not, there is no glory to make a good man good. It is a good glory that you can make a bad man good. Sometimes he used to call me, hey, some incidents are coming about Swami Bigyananda, please write down. I told him, no, I shall not write down. You will speak on the tape, then I shall transcribe it and write it. That is the Swami Bigyananda's reminiscences. Maharaj told, I wrote in Bengali, it was published in Udbodhan, then it was translated and it just came to Prabuddha Bharata. You know, these precious reminiscences, some I collected from Swami Prabhavananda. Swami Prabhavananda passed away July 4th, 1976. I still remember that morning. I came out from the shrine. Maharaj went for a walk. His male nurse, Abhaya, Krishnananda are all with him. Maharaj always loved to encircle the Hollywood temple in his walk. Then when he was going, Chetanananda Maharaj, he blessed me, raising his hand. I just came out from the shrine and going to the monastery. One thing I forgot to tell you, that Hollywood, now the monastery, that was 13, 14 rooms, it was Maharaj inaugurated in 1974. We spent $330,000. So the whole thing was done, and the monks, we used to live in where the convent is. Monks came to this side and the nuns went to the other side. It happened in 1975. And many Swamis came on the dedication ceremony. Swami Asheshanandaji came. And during Swami's memorial service also, Swami Prabhavananda, Shraddhananda, Swananda, Adisharananda, Swami Bhaskarananda, myself, we all were present. So it was a big function. You remember that Hollywood, we did one memorial service. Christopher Isharuj was there, and also in Santa Barbara, another memorial service. I did several memorial services. Swami Prabhavananda, Swami Satprakashananda, Swami Shraddhananda, Swami, several people's memorial service. I was very closely connected. Yeah. Then Swami Swanandaji came, and then I worked with him for another 1 year, 77 whole year, and 78 February I was transferred to St. Louis. So, you know, sometimes what God does is good for us. Hollywood, my commuting and doing lecturing, and I would not get time to do the literary work, writing work I did in St. Louis. I went there on the 1st of March 1978. So nearly 40 years I am in St. Louis, and nearly 7 years I worked in Hollywood. Stories about some important people in Hollywood. Isharuj was a very prominent figure. As I said, he used to come and read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna every Wednesday. Then on Swamiji's birthday, he used to come and read the Katha Upanishad. And I am grateful to Isharuj to write the introduction of meditation and its methods, Vedanta Voice of Freedom. And I used 2 of his writings as an introduction of Vivekananda East Meets West and Girish's book. Isharuj also, I sometimes if I have questions, he would ask me. One thing he told me, Swami, if we do not understand how good is your writing, we want to understand first. I remember, perhaps you remember that when Isharuj wanted to record Swami Prabhavananda's Upanishad and Gita, so it was arranged that it should be recorded in Hollywood by professional people. I think Dharam Das recorded that thing. Mrs. Carlson gave money. She had many meditation centers all over this country, very rich lady. She gave money for these things, and I was sent with Isharuj to correct his pronunciation. I still remember that in the glass room he was giving signal, and I was seated next to Isharuj, and we read. Another person I met, Isharuj, many stories I can tell you, but you know all of them. A great writer. And he met Ramakrishna, very popular through his books. And when I was in Advaita Ashrama, I had to read his book before it went to the printer for Indian edition. And I sent a dozen of corrections. These are the wrong. So they had to correct these things in Indian edition. Another person, Joseph Kaplan. He was the astrophysics and physics in UCLA, very famous professor. His wife was Prabhavananda's disciple. He was a friend of President Reagan. So we got the, at that time Reagan was the governor of California. So we got the wall, 18 inches high wall and thick, 18 inches thick high wall in Hollywood because of that. The convent building would shake. Later on, of course, they took a little property from us, from our parking, to make another extra lane. Anyhow, Joseph Kaplan. Then John and Lowry. John Hens, he was the right hand of Walt Disney, and both started Disney, worked in Disney same time. John did all these years after Walt died. All the Mickey Mouse are drawn by John. Not only that, John was the creative head. He was the senior vice president and creative head. John is really one of the greatest artists in the world, I should say. He helped me making Thakur's pictures, Swamiji's pictures, original. John worked for it. Then Thakur's face. John helped me quite a bit of work. John did it for us. One day I told John, I like to see this Disney studio. Yes, Swami, I said, please come. So I went. Swanand also went with me. And then one Japanese girl was our guide. But John was walking. Then that girl is saying, when John is walking, I will not have to say anything. Then John said, no, you say. So we have a guided tour in the Disney studio. Then he took me to a color room. We saw 4 ladies. They make color. But Swami, we have nearly 1,800 colors we have. When we are making Panchesya, we use this color. And then he said, do you like to see smog, Los Angeles smog, that color? Kind of like a grayish. Then he said, do you like to hear the sound of rain? Some stone pebbles are there in a drum and it rotates, just like rain going on. You see, they have all sounds are recorded there. You bang the door, you bang the car, all the sounds are there. When they make the movie, those sounds they put together. I did not know all these things. Then I told him, no, I was so Puritan, I did not see any English movie in my life before coming to this country. So, but one of my friends said, I shall show you a movie where there is no woman's character. I said, sure, I shall go. So I went to see 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the Jules Verne's, that scientific fiction, Captain Nemo. So I told John by the way that, I saw that movie. John smiled and said, Swami, I was the animator of that movie. And he says most of the things, he showed the tank in Disney, Disney studio. Most of the shots are done here, what you have seen. We took some ocean shots, but most of the things are done here. Then I said, I see the cartoon, how do you make this thing, moving, change and this and that? But Swami, there are innumerable drawings that rotates, and that is the way you see this action. I have never heard all those things, I had a fantastic time in Disney studio. Then, of course, at that time in Disneyland, we were the VIPs. John used to give us some pass. So any visiting Swami comes, we have to go to the Disneyland. We have not to go to the line. We used to get a guide. We can see any show we like, and then they will feed us lunch, and then we come back. So we are the VIPs in Disney World, and I saw Disneyland many times. Anyhow, John and Lowry, I am very grateful to them. After leaving Hollywood, I tell you frankly, I was looking for a place in summer so that I can stay and can write and meditate. Otherwise, every Sunday I am lecturing. Every Sunday I was on the pulpit. I had no rest. When I used to come to Hollywood or California or any center, Sunday I had to lecture. Then I remember 78, 79, 80, 81, 83, 84. I was moving around different centers. And you see, I tell you frankly, one Swami center, do not stay more than 3 days. It is hard on that Swami. Guest, 3 days, enough. But I will have to stay 2 months. Where shall I stay? Only Hollywood, Trabuco, San Francisco at that time could accommodate, because they have the monastery communities and they have kitchen. So I have a really hard time to, and I did not feel to stay as a guest, and I was really very, very uncomfortable. Then in '84, George Buznik took me to Catalina Island. I stayed there 1 week. Then next year I wanted to go, but that lab man's Russian wife did not allow me to go. So whole '84 I was in Trabuco. 1 month I cleaned the library. I have a work thing that you should not eat Sri Ramakrishna's food without giving any service. So I am eating to monastery food, work ethics. So I am working, so I must give service. So I gave service to them. Then in '85, Lauri says, Swami, in Laguna we have a cottage, front portion we rent, back portion is there, when sometimes we go and stay. You can stay at that place. That became a boon for me. I stayed 20 years that cottage, and I did most of the writing work there. The whole that cottage was always open for me, and property management people used to keep the place nice. So I am very, very grateful to John and Laudi. Both died in 2004 they died. John died 4th of February, Laudi died 18th of February. John was 95 years old, Laudi was 93. I am very, very grateful to them. Then when they passed away, or Bob gave me this cottage where I am now. I came here in 2005. A summer I stay here 2.5 months, winter 1 month, and this is the time I meditate and I write. This place is heaven for me. And Bob is very kind. He is one of friends of my disciple. He died. He asked Bob to look after me. So every week he will call, and when I come to the airport, he receives me, take me to the airport. So this place is really, really a great help for me. So that is John. Then Shobha, Catherine McGregor, she was an actress in Hollywood. Then she worked at the Little House on the Prairies, Mrs. Olson. He became very close to me. He took initiation from Swami Prabhavananda. I remember one day Shobha was telling, Swami, I am not getting anything. I said, don't say that. 7 years you are here in Vedanta and you say you are not getting anything? I don't believe it. You think that before you came what you are and what you are now. That is true, Swami. I was a wild woman in New York, now I changed. Some people, those who come in Vedanta, they do not realize what they get. Swami Brahmananda also used to say, if you would not get anything, you would not come here second time. You get something. You will feel it when you go away from this place. Shobha. Shobha is still alive, not well. She is in a retirement home. She sent $500 to me. When I shall die, you come and do my memorial service. Uncle, all right. Then Byron Webster, he was an actor. He used to come and play badminton with me. Nice man. He is a Scottish, friend of Arlene. I call him Byron. In our geography, in our school days, we used to read, the sun never sets in British Empire, because the British people have colonies all over the world. Well, now Swami, sun seldom rises in British Empire. Most of the time in England is overcast, you know. Byron was so my way. Then Zubin Mehta, he used to come to Prabhavananda, and I heard her symphony, you know, in Los Angeles, Zubin. Once the Italian people wanted a documentary movie on him. So he came, that his religious side, he came to our Hollywood temple, and Swami Prabhavananda asked me to be with Zubin. So they photographed, they did some movie on Zubin and me. Then Ravi Shankar also came several times to Hollywood. He's Allah Rakha, he's tabla, drum player, both. He initiated some of his students and I chanted some mantras in Hollywood Shrine. Then Aparnama, you remember, she was one of the first time devotees of Sri Swami Prabhavananda and helped Swami. But we had to make joke when Aparnama has a very large car, and when she from her Hollywood apartment, when she would go for shopping, when she is on the street, if anybody would come to the Hollywood temple, we said, don't come to shrine right now. Sri Ramakrishna not here. Or Sri Ramakrishna already left the shrine to give protection to Aparnama. Ramakrishna left. He is giving protection to the devotees. Very nice lady. Matilda's a story I told. I had one devotee, they are hippies, Jan and Jan. Jan told me, Swami, if you say a single word against Elvis Presley, I shall leave Vedanta. Once they drove me from Sacramento to Los Angeles. On the way, the car broke down. I go, do you have insurance? Insurance? Ramakrishna insurance, Swami, no insurance. Then she told me, we are in the Bakersfield by the side of the freeway. But now you reach the Chonji. Her husband went to bring a pickup truck. So the pickup truck came and took the gas station. I was hanging in the car. I was like this. But they're very good people. Once in Hollywood, after the lecture, somebody came and shook hands with me. Swami, I am Girish. He has alcohol in his mouth, you know, smell the alcohol. I go, yes, yes, I understand you are Girish. You know, sometimes American people take it very literally. John, when I gave a lecture, in ancient time, the students would go to their guru with sacrificial wood in their hands. My goodness, Shamitpani Shrotiram Brahmanishtam, it is in Munjaka Upanishad. So what happened, these hippies, Christmas time, gave a big piece of wood wrapped with beautiful colored paper. Then I opened it and said, my goodness, a big piece of wood. I was about to throw away. Then I checked, I saw there is a $100 bill with a Scotch tape. It's pasted in that wood. Then one Sunday I gave a lecture. Pranabo dhanu shari atma brahmata laksham uchyate apramatena vedhabam sharavat tanmayo bhavet. Om is the bow, Atman is the arrow, Brahman is the target, hit it without any mistake. Next Sunday they brought a big bow for me. This is the bow you talked last Sunday, take it. So I gave. I had wonderful time in Hollywood Temple. Our Usha with Easter time used to spread eggs everywhere in our garden and the convent and everywhere. We used to search Easter eggs. Then Bardri Prai and Shumati, very nice people. He was the president of our society. Gobindo, Radhika. Then Mrs. Carlson. When Prabhavananda died, she invited me in her home in Rochester, in New York. She did not have any children. She made her daughter, Catherine, adopted her as daughter, so that her property, money, will be distributed according to her wish. She told me, my family were looking for my money. For the reason I adopted my secretary as a daughter. So Catherine drove me from the airport to her home. One night I stayed with them in their house. And they have a 100 pine trees, 100 pine trees, 100 pine trees. They have a walking meditation in their place. She was a very spiritual person. She died. I met Catherine some years ago. Another person very striking to me is Bob Jals. He was our usher in Hollywood Temple. One is our Mr. Fludge, Almond Fludge, and Bob Jals. Bob Jals in Silmar, he had a printing press. Bachelor, he used to live in the press. He used to think that I am the caretaker of Ramakrishna's business. Entire income will come to Hollywood. I am only person I met completely so much devotion. He died in 1977. I went to see him in Presbyterian Hospital in Los Angeles. He was with life-saving, all the supports, tubes everywhere. Then lung cancer. So the nurse, I am the minister, I can talk. The nurse says he can hear, but he cannot talk because all tubes are through the mouth. So I said, Bob, Swami, do you remember Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji? He nodded his head. Then it reminded me a shloka from the Gita. Last verse of the second chapter of the Gita. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainat prapya vimuchyati sthitva samanta kaleopi brahma nirvanam richati. This is called the establishment in Brahman. Even at the time of death, if you remember, you will get nirvana. Last verse of the second chapter of the Gita. That I saw in Bob. Beautiful, beautiful place. Then Trabuco, Gerald Hodge, a British philosopher, thinker, started Trabuco College. He wanted to introduce medieval Christianity, how the monks lived. That is the way Trabuco monks quarter, you see the old section. It is all Gothic, very thick walls, one bathroom, two monks can come, and it's fantastic way. And Trabuco shrine, unique. The dome shrine, previously it was very dark and very deep. Some people would fall. But later on, the brothers lifted one layer, so that and the carpet was selected by John Hens, Trabuco carpet. But Swami, this carpet is in Disneyland. Millions of people walked, still it is not worn out. So John Hens gave that carpet and shrine. All my chanting texts, echoes of eternal, breath of the eternal, are recorded there. Because I wanted that echo sound, that echo. Beautiful, beautiful Trabuco. When I used to enter Trabuco, I used to say, goodbye civilization. And I used to call Trabuco Maya-free zone. The only visitors are allowed, I think, 11 to 1 and 3 to 5. Which is really, really, and that library is fantastic, a walking trail. In this connection, I shall tell you one story about Trabuco. It was in 1975, 74. What happened? Our tax was only $500, Orange County. We have 300 acres. But Orange County increased it 14,500. We cannot afford. Then bird deprived, and our board members came in contact with the Orange County that we want kind of easement. They wanted to extend their O'Neill Park adjacent to our property. So we shall give you 250 acres and we shall keep 50 acres free from tax. And 250 acres we shall give for agricultural preserve. agricultural reserve, that only you can bring walking trails, bridle trails, but no construction. Just we want to maintain the spiritual atmosphere of the Trabuco monastery. They agreed. We are very lucky that they agreed, but our brothers, especially Tadatmananda and or Buddhananda, they make the shrine trails so that public can go and no tax, so that you will be free from tax. Anyhow, it was very well done. And previously, Trabuco, we did not have any water. We used to have tube well, and we have several people. We used to get $4,000-5,000. Several cows used to graze in that area. So later on, we got water connection from the city. That is a boon for us, and free of cost, because we gave that place for the cows to graze and all those things, in the city. It was all budget price tactics, so that we can get free water from the city. Free water means free connection from the city. And previously, you remember that from the main Trabuco Canyon Road, Live Oak Canyon Road, that was full of pebbles and dust. It was Michael Berry gave money. Michael Berry was the secretary of Gerald Hart. He gave money so that we have my paved road. We can go very smoothly. One story I must tell you. We are then building this Hollywood convent. That rooms in previously monastery was where the convent is, and where the convent, the monastery moved here and convent moved there in 1974, 75. So when we were building that convent, and with the living room and the kitchen, which you see at present, $330,000. Now it may be million. Do you know what happened? In front of this Trabuco monastery, there are 13 acres belong to the monastery in the Live Oak Canyon Road. The county wanted that property. But we want to extend the O'Neill Park. And Ananda Prana came to me and said, Swami, we need money for the convent construction and this and that. And Swami Prabhavananda said, yes, we need that money. Then I was in Santa Barbara. Our Ashim called me, Swami, Wednesday is the board meeting. Swami already agreed to sell that property to the city, to the county. We do not want, but Swami wants to listen to us. Perhaps he may listen to you. Swami Prabhavananda loved me like his own son. So I was in Santa Barbara, came back Monday morning. I went to his room. Maharaj, I hear that you want to sell that property. Well, yes, Chetanananda, we need money. I told him, Maharaj, if you open your lips, thousands and thousands of dollars will come. But Michael Berry, who was the secretary of Gerald Hart, he will give money, the money with him. Do you know how much county offered? $5,000 per acre. So they offered only $67,000, 13 acres of land. I told him, Maharaj, $67,000 he will give the 13 acres. Then I put a little fear in his mind. I told him, Maharaj, do you know what will happen? Well, what will happen? O'Neill Park people will extend their entrance here, and they will build overnight camping, they will build bathroom, all these things. And the American girls, when they go to the jungle and the park, they have very little dress. Your monks will go and see them. And that worked as a magic. I just scared him. Swami Maharaj, American girls, you know. in front of me, immediately he, Amahananda, we do not want to sell that property. We put the same restrictions as we did in 250 acres. Bas, whole thing changed. But do you know what? God helped us. The person who invented the Xerox, his wife came and came with her secretary, Catherine. Swami, you want to build convent? $100,000. Another, like that. All money came. But one nice thing if I have done for the Trabuco, I want this entrance of the Trabuco monastery. Otherwise, it would be extension of the O'Neill Park, overnight camping, parking, bathroom, all these things. स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः नमः श्रीज्योतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरै सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापारिणे ओम शांति शांति शांति।